Wilhelm Jacob Rosenstand, 1838 to 1915, was a Danish painter and illustrator celebrated for his historical, genre, and portrait paintings, particularly those depicting Danish history, military life, and everyday scenes. His career spanned the late 19th and early 20th centuries, during which he became known for his detailed realism, strong narrative sense, and ability to capture both the grandeur of historical events and the subtle emotions of personal moments. Rosenstand's art not only reflected his own technical mastery, but also embodied the spirit of Danish nationalism that flourished in his era. Early life and education. Wilhelm Jacob Rosenstand was born on April 10, 1838, in Copenhagen, Denmark. He grew up in a time when Danish art was entering a new phase after the golden age of the early 19th century. The political changes in Europe, particularly the national movements in Denmark, deeply influenced the cultural environment of his youth. Showing artistic talent at an early age, Rosenstand was encouraged to pursue formal art training. In 1854, he was admitted to the Royal Danish Academy of Fine Arts in Copenhagen, one of the most respected art institutions in Scandinavia. Here, he studied under leading artists of the time, receiving a solid foundation in drawing, anatomy, and classical composition. The Academy's training emphasized historical painting, a genre that would later become central to his work. His early studies reflected a strong influence from Danish Golden Age painters, but as he matured, Rosenstand developed a more dynamic and dramatic style. Artistic development and career beginnings. By the late 1850s, Rosenstand began participating in the Academy's exhibitions, where his works quickly gained attention for their meticulous detail and engaging storytelling. His interest in history, particularly Denmark's past, became a defining theme in his work. He showed an ability to combine accurate historical research with a painterly sensitivity to human emotion. In the 1860s, Rosenstand also began to produce illustrations for books and periodicals. His skill as a draftsman made him a sought-after illustrator, and these commissions provided him with a steady income while allowing him to reach a wider audience. His illustrations often reflected the same historical and military subjects that appeared in his paintings. Historical and military themes. Rosenstand is perhaps best remembered for his historical and military paintings. His works frequently depicted moments from Denmark's military history, especially the wars of the 17th and 19th centuries. The Second Schleswig War of 1864, in which Denmark fought against Prussian Austria, was a particularly strong influence. While Rosenstand himself did not serve in the war, the national trauma and sense of loss that followed became recurring themes in his work. One of his best-known paintings, Efter Slaget ved Fredericia, After the Battle of Fredericia, captures the exhaustion and relief of Danish soldiers after their victory in 1849 during the First Schleswig War. The work's careful attention to the soldiers' expressions and postures conveys both pride and fatigue, blending historical accuracy with emotional resonance. Such paintings were not only works of art, but also visual testaments to national identity and resilience. Travel and influence. Like many artists of his generation, Rosenstand traveled abroad to broaden his artistic horizons. In the 1870s, he visited Germany, France, and Italy, where he studied the works of Renaissance and Baroque masters. These travels deepened his understanding of composition, color, and dramatic lighting. The influence of painters such as Rembrandt and Vermeer can be seen in his careful rendering of light and texture, while the grand historical canvases of French academic painters inspired his large-scale works. During his travels, Rosenstand also explored genre painting, producing intimate depictions of everyday life. These works often showed rural Danish scenes, farmers, fishermen, and domestic interiors, painted with warmth and authenticity. While not as grand as his historical works, these paintings displayed his versatility and deep connection to Danish culture. Later career and recognition. By the late 19th century, Rosenstand had firmly established himself as a leading painter in Denmark. His works were exhibited regularly at the Charlottenborg